What's going on? Welcome to episode 103 of the Gridiron Garage. I'm your host, Zach Curtis. Alongside of me is at J Law. What's up, bud?
Hanging out with my two buds.
And our other bud over here is at Big Daddy Griff.
Hey.
What's going on? What's going on?
You know, just living the dream.
So, off air, just a minute ago, we were talking about, Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Jake?
What about him, Zach?
I'm just going to come out on record. Russell Wilson will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Never. Will never
He will make it in the Hall of Fame, but he will not be a first ballot.
You won't catch him on the hot mic saying some good shit about Russell Wilson.
Well, he just says he's going to be a Hall of Famer, so that's pretty good.
It wasn't on the hot mic.
It wasn't on the hot mic, so
I had shit.
I had to start the episode out to fucking ruffle some feathers real quick and piss off all the Russell Wilson lovers out there. But Clash of Tables back at it again. It is Tuesday, November 2nd. Hope everybody's having a good day. Want to throw this in there, quick little plug that the holiday season's coming right around the corner. And the Clash Table Boys, we're going to be doing our Christmas fundraiser again. Hopefully, take a kid shopping. Last year, we raised almost $400. Donated it. I think we helped out about 8 kids. But this year, we're going to try to do it in person now that COVID's kind of slowed down. So just kind of plugging that a little early just to, let the listeners know that we're going to be asking for some money here. So follow us on Instagram at the Gridiron Garage Pod and, Twitter. I think we have a Twitter.
Give us money.
We're going to buy pocket knives for all the foster kids.
Jesus.
Give us money for the kids.
Bunch of Swiss Army knives.
Like the most sketchy shit to buy kids. We'll just buy it. I mean, if I was a kid, I would be like, thanks. This is the coolest gift I've received yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's get on the list. Pocket knife, lighter fluid.
I mean, when I was a kid, like 2 of the coolest guns was definitely toys was definitely BB gun, and I had like a compound bow, but it was like kind of for kids. It was like super lightweight.
Yeah.
It was like a 20-pound pull bow.
Shot me in the ear with that BB gun.
Yeah,
Some bitch hurt.
You're with the BB gun.
Could've lost my hearing.
Those are the coolest toys. Dude.
Jake's mom shot me with
Stuff that you're probably not supposed to have at that age is definitely the coolest toys.
Do you have what are they called? Air assault? No, what are they called?
I got my airsoft gun taken
Airsoft,
when
yeah.
I was a little kid because my neighbor, I shot her in the ass with it.
Don't be a snitch.
And she told her mom, and I got my gun taken, and I had to go knock on her door. And I'd be like, I have to apologize for shooting you in the butt with my BB gun.
I can see that right now. That was definitely one of those moments you do as a kid where you're messing around and you hurt someone you're friends with and they start crying.
I'm sorry. Don't say your mom.
Threaten to go tell on you, and you're like, I'm sorry. You can hit me. Hit me.
Shoot me.
You can hurt me. What if you hurt me? Right? If you hurt me, we'll be even. It's like, no, you can hurt me. And then
I would say it was kind of bullshit because it was like a 200-yard shot with an airsoft gun.
That's pretty dope.
So
200 yards?
So no way it hurt, right? Like I was just firing them up at her.
Jesus.
Apparently one hit her in the ass and I got in trouble.
So on this topic, I was watching this Instagram reel of this guy who had like a sniper airsoft gun. And it was like a legit thing. Like, how they
Dude,
do
those
like,
videos are awesome.
And
They
so-
show like hit
awesome.
markers and stuff
Yeah.
like it's Call of Duty.
And so you were looking through his scope was the camera, and like you could see the BB going, and it kept hitting him in the chest, and he wouldn't
wasn't calling his hits?
He wasn't calling his hits, and so the caption was like, "What do you do to a cheater in airsoft?" And all you see is like the little pellet, and then it hits him right in his eye. Like he had safety glasses on, but it like cracked his safety glasses, and then he finally rose his hand. Like what a bitch! Like,
I've seen the ones that shoot him in the dick.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I've seen ones where they hit him like 5 or 6 times in the arm or chest, and you see him react, and they look left and right, and be like, "Oh, no one saw it, right?"
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, it just hits them in the dick, and they go, "Oh!" And they double over and put their hand up.
that's awesome.
It's also kind of bullshit if you have like 600 foot per second
Yeah, that's
sniper
true.
rifle,
Right.
Like airsoft gun. Like, come on,
CO2 powered.
You know the little kids running around with this shitty like cockback handgun,
Walmart pistol.
that shoots
you-
about 10 yards, maybe.
You've seen the video, so I've watched a bunch of those videos, and I guess some of the rules are you can't use full auto airsoft guns in indoor games. It's only for outdoor games. And this guy's like running through just mowing kids down with his airsoft gun. He goes, "Hey man, no full auto indoors." He goes, "That's not full auto." And he clicks. He goes, "This is."
Yeah, and he fucking lights him
He
up.
goes, "Holy shit, dude!"
I've seen that video before.
He goes, "Never mind, you're good."
Well, if any kids out there want some airsoft guns, if their parents approve, we will fund it.
We will fund it, and we will shoot their asses with it. We'll go play.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, that would be fun if we, instead of buying them something, we just took like 3 kids and had 3v3
like paintball or airsoft.
Yes.
That'd be fucking awesome.
That would be dope.
That would make the kids Christmas. If their parents, we'll get a lawyer on. They'll make us a little waiver.
Lighten up 6-year-olds.
Well, their parents sign a waiver saying
Us 3 go play, don't get shot one time.
kids come out black and blue.
I still remember when we went and played laser tag that one time, Jake, and I was straight up just cheating.
Yeah, we went to play laser
Covered
tag.
up all my lasers.
And Griffin
Jesus
figured out how to
God.
cover up the receptors, and he would just run around invincible.
Dude, I went on a fucking killing spree. I murked everybody. No one could get me.
All right, let's bring it back to sports, the sports podcast. So, had a good weekend of football. We're going to dive into some who's winning. So, just a reminder, we got the McDonald's 10,000 calorie challenge on the line, and we got 10 weeks left in the season. We're just going to stop at regular season, right? We never really put that on there. All right, cool. So 10 weeks left in the regular season. As of now, I just want to say the goddamn Jets, fuck them. Because, Jake, you got fucked earlier by the Jets. I got screwed over by the Jets. So right now I'm sitting at 4-2. Jake and Griff both won this week. So Jake is now at 4-2. Dallas covered by 2.5. Barely covered. And then Griff is sitting at 3-3. Titans covered at -1.
Yep.
So
Overtime covers, baby.
yeah, you got lucky on that one. But
If you pulled it back up, so you're not in the losing record anymore.
Not in the losing
Which is
record.
good. We can't have a
I will
sports
say,
podcast and
I
have
did-
losing records out here.
did have a
especially the host of Death
Well,
Taxes
that's what I was
and
gonna say.
Bets.
I had a good week in the NFL. Episode 1, Death, Taxes, and Bets. I went 3-1 on my NFL picks.
Okay.
The only one I missed was the money line underdog. So I picked an underdog because we pick one money line dog every week. And also my co-host Ortiz also went 3-1 in the
Okay.
NFL. So we had a
Okay.
good week in the NFL. Don't ask about NCAA. We'll go over that on the show. So
Okay, yeah. Make sure you listen. New episodes drop every Friday. But back to the fucking Jets. All right. One, how do you go from being the AFC favorite to losing to the Jets? The Jets with at one point they had their third string quarterback in there. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how this freaking Mike White guy
Mike White.
was balling on us. I mean, we've been talking this entire podcast how good the Bengals defense is.
And then he balled out, dude.
And Mike White is the guy to come and just absolutely tear our zone apart. Like,
So-
literally would just sit, he'd run like a wide receiver out there, sit in the zone, and then he'd just throw it right to him. I was
Yeah.
like, God dang it.
So the Bengals defense did have a couple turnovers, though, didn't they? I didn't get to watch the first half, but I did look at their
They had 2
stat
picks,
line. Okay.
and one of the pick was, it was actually a decent throw, but he was getting pressured, and he threw it right off his running back's helmet before he turned around. So it hit him in the head and then bounced up pick. The other one was like a contested slant over the middle. I think Wilson might have knocked it up in the air and got picked off. So it wasn't like absurdly bad throws, but on the other hand, you shouldn't throw it at your running back who's not looking at you, and you shouldn't throw it at a contested slant. So kind of okay picks, but no picks good, right?
So I saw this tweet after I made this outline, and I just want to ask you guys, would you guys consider Joe Burrow a rich white kid or just like a nice middle-class kid from Akron, or not from Akron?
Mike White hates losing to rich white kids.
Yeah.
I have no idea where this is going, but I have no idea
They
about
found an old tweet
Joe
of his.
Burrow.
So from 2013, Mike White tweeted, "I hate losing to rich white kids."
Really?
Yeah. And so, I mean, one, why are you going back, what is that, 8 years
Yeah,
to find a
it sounds
tweet?
like someone played the local Catholic high school and got their asses kicked.
But I saw that tweet and I thought it was funny. And he just wasn't going to lose to Joe Burrow, that damn rich white kid, first round pick. But Mike White becomes the second QB since 1950 to throw for 400 plus yards in his first career start. The only other player to do that was my boy Cam Newton with 422 yards in 2011, I believe. So I guess 1950 was when the Super Bowl era started, and so that's why they went with that stat. But my question to you boys is, do the Jets have a QB problem now?
Yes.
I mean, that's hard
Dude,
to look past.
If he keeps doing this, I mean, you got to give him more starts.
You have to.
If he's going to throw for 400 yards, how many touchdowns? 3?
I mean,
2?
they're
3?
gonna get their shot because Zach Wilson's still hurt. He won't play for at least another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
at least.
Dude, it was to the point when, I mean, not to say that I root for injuries, but he did have a neck injury at one point and came out of the game. And I was absolutely thrilled that the second string quarterback, Mike White, was out of this game.
Yeah.
I was like, we have a chance. Mike White's
Well,
out
dude,
of the
they
game.
brought in a journeyman. I don't know his name, but he's been like a backup guy for 13
They
years.
were talking about every team he played for. They were talking about him playing
He played for the Bengals at one point.
Yeah, they were talking about him playing in the arena
Josh
football
Johnson.
and Canada football. And I was like, dude, this guy's been around the world.
Balling
man.
out, dude.
I mean, you got to root for a guy like that, though.
I mean, will he make the Hall of Fame? Probably. Put everybody in there now. No, I'm just kidding. But I do think that the Jets have a QB problem. What does Zach Wilson go? Number 2 overall to the Jets?
2.
Number 2 overall. So that is kind of hard to come out and be like, yeah, fuck the number 2 guy. But, I mean, when you got Mike White, a dude that nobody's ever heard of before, coming out and balling against what I think the Bengals were like the number 6 defense going into that game. Don't quote me on that. But really good defense. And throws for 400-plus yards.
So, one thing I do want to be wary of is just the overreactions, right? I mean, because I've definitely been guilty of it before.
We love to do that.
I know we love to do that, right? You know, everyone loves to do overreactions. It was one game. It was
So you're
just one
telling me
game.
he's not going to throw for 400 yards every game,
I don't think
Griffin?
so.
Is that what you're saying
But
right now?
isn't that
Is
how
that your
it's-
take on the podcast?
Isn't that how it works, though?
Well, I mean, a bunch of people overreacted and said the Bengals were the best team in the AFC, and then obviously they went and lost to Mike White and the Jets. So overreactions.
Whoa, don't talk about Mike White
Dude,
like
Mike
that.
White is literally
Overreactions
elite.
happen. So what I will
You know,
say,
he had more
is I
passing
think it would
yards
be
than Russell
very
Wilson.
interesting to see how he plays next week. But if he just like has 3 straight games of this and like not necessarily 400 yards, but like winning football where he plays really well, and then Zach Wilson's like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm ready to start again." Like, how could you, if you're not Robert Saleh, be like, "Hey, dude, sit on the bench."
Yeah.
Mike White's starting.
You
Here
don't
we go,
see it
boys.
as much in the NFL, but in college you'll see it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
College and
But
new quarterback.
I think
starts
no money.
balling.
Like,
yeah.
seriously, how
true.
much stock they've been putting into Zach Wilson and like trying to make him the guy in New York. Obviously, they've tried a lot of guys in New York recently, but trying to make him the guy. I think Mike White would have to play like actually really well these next 3 games or 4 games. I think if he like comes out and just like has this really awesome game, then it's kind of very very average or subpar. They just be like, all right, let's put Zach Wilson back in. So
All right, so here's my take. Is Jake, you know you don't sit money, right?
Yeah, I disagree with it, but yes,
Okay.
that's your take.
My take is you don't sit money. Zach Wilson, don't know his contract, but number 2 overall pick, probably got a lot of guaranteed money.
way more money than Mike White.
Way
Yeah,
more money than Mike
for
White. Okay. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, when it drops every Tuesday, we appreciate you for one. But it's also the NFL trade deadline. They're going to get Mike White out of town because they do not want to hear it in New York that Zach Wilson is a terrible quarterback with knowing what they have on the bench in Mike White. They're going to trade him away.
Trade Zach Wilson away or
No,
Mike White?
Mike White. They're trading him away. They don't want that Bears shit up in here. Like, oh, we
Why
got
not?
Andy Dalton and Justin Fields. Nope. Get that toxic shit out of here. Mike White
Mike
is
White
gone.
might be able to turn around the Bears. The Bears should trade him.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
All I'm saying is that the Bears got to watch out because Justin Fields
we're going to get to
will be the
Bears.
hands down worst quarterback in the league if Zach Wilson's out.
Ooh.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. you might be right.
Also, Mike White, American Conference. I mean, you know he's going to be good.
What high school or college did you go
WKU.
to?
SFU,
WKU.
I did see
Southern-
you went to
WKU, then
yeah.
SFU.
Head coach
Damn.
Jeff Brom, current Boilermakers
There
head
we
coach.
go.
Well, I just disrespected the AAC by calling them the fucking high school of the NCAA, so my bad for that. But let's go on to the other side of the football. Jamar Chase is on a level of his own, dude. Already has 786 receiving yards and is the most by any player since the 1970 merger. Do we have our guy? Should we have went
I
back,
think
Griff,
they made the right choice.
at number 5 and drafted Penei Sewell?
I think they made the right choice.
Oh, I think so, too.
I still think Sewell's gonna be a good player, but Jamar Chase is a baller. Like,
I don't know, dude.
He made the right choice.
The Bengals are what, 5-3?
They made the right choice. Zach, I said that 3rd time.
I don't know. I'm just
Jamar
saying.
Chase is an awesome choice. I'm
just saying.
he's balling.
But we also have
2020.
That is one of the takes that I have squatted on and been like, no, I was wrong.
Right.
Like, they took the right choice.
I do want to say though that T. Higgins easily could have been a first round wide receiver if the Packers didn't draft Jordan Love for some odd reason. So we pretty much have 2 first round wide receivers because T did go the first pick in the 2nd round, so he was pretty much right there. But what are we going to do with T. Higgins, Boyd, and Jamar Chase? Like, Jamar Chase is going to have to burn out. Defenses are going to learn how to guard him. You would think at some point, like, does T step up? Does Boyd step up? Does your boy number 16, I don't even know his name, Does he step up? The long-haired white guy?
I do like him, though. Dude, he played awesome in preseason. But I liked how they used Jamar Chase, which he's definitely been, hands down, the deep threat on the team.
Yeah.
But this past week, they threw a lot of short catch and runs with him.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you got both those skill sets, if you got the catch and run plus the deep ball in your skill set, I mean, he's going to be hard to cover. So,
Oh, no doubt.
I think they're definitely going to have to game plan for Jamar Chase, and Boyd and T. Higgins going to get open.
Yeah. I mean, T almost had 100 yards receiving, so.
Made that sick-ass catch. Some say it wasn't a catch, but.
Uh-oh. We Des Bryant in it over here?
That's funny.
But to wrap up the Bengals, I actually was pissed that we lost to the Jets. I was pissed that they didn't cover by 9.5 points. And so I turned the game off before this helmet-to-helmet contact, but I did see replays of it. What do you guys think about it? I think it's kind of a bullshit call, but I see where the refs were coming from.
It's definitely a bullshit call. So for those who didn't watch the Bengals game, it was a 3rd down and long with the chance to the Bengals to get the ball back with a minute 30-ish left on the clock, a minute 40. And the Bengals player goes to tackle him, pretty much dives at his kneecaps, like super low. Running back braces for impact, so he gets super low and ducks his head into the hit. And they call helmet to helmet, 15 yards. They get the first down, and all they have to do is kneel it out from there. If they didn't call that flag, they would have had to punt it back to Joe Burrow with a minute 30 left on the clock. Did the Bengals win? I don't know. All they need to do is kick a field goal to go to overtime, which makes you think it's somewhat probable that that game at least goes to overtime.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely missed the call, and I'm sure if you go back and talk to the refs, they would say we missed the call. But nothing you can do. I say the only argument against it is that you shouldn't be in such a close game with the Jets.
That's
for one play to make the difference. But
So
at
I
the
do
same
agree.
time, that one play does make a difference.
Don't put the game in the ref's hands. I agree with you there. But this is why I could never be a coach at any level. I would have went fucking berserk, dude.
I wish he would have. Dude, how come you don't see NFL coaches get knocked from a game? What happens if they do? They get fined?
Probably a shit ton of money. I mean, the NFL is not shy about finding people.
Because baseball managers will get thrown out 7 times a year, 5 times a year, 4 times a year.
But you got to think, like 160 games, their fine's probably only going to be a couple thousand. Like, you only got 17 games here that you're working with. Like, that could be a whole game check. I don't know. The NFL doesn't fuck around.
The NFL doesn't fuck around.
But you're right. I've never seen an NFL coach get ejected from a game.
No, I've seen.
I'm sure it's happened.
I've seen the old college coach from with Last Chance U get ejected plenty of times.
Which one?
Buddy. Buddy gets ejected.
That dude, are you talking about the Mississippi guy, the team that wore red?
EMCC.
Was that the? Yeah.
It's the very
Dude,
first one, I think.
So they had 2 seasons, and it fucking cracked me up. He was like, "Yeah, I watched the first season, and I hated how it was like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, blah, blah, like going on and on." And then he's like, "Yeah, I wanted to change myself." And like literally the first episode of the second season, he was like, "Fuck, buddy,
Jesus fucking Christ, get your fucking shit together, boys."
I was like, that guy did not change his life at all. But you know whose life did get changed yesterday, and that was Cooper Rush, dude. So
Let's go.
Griff, I'm just going to come out with a weird flex that happened with Dallas. And I'm sure that you knew this before the game, but I heard the announcer say it. In 2017, 2018, you had Cooper Rush was on the team, Dak Prescott was on the team, and Kellen Moore was on the team. And on Sunday night, Kellen Moore was now coaching the starting quarterback, Cooper Rush, who was replacing Dak Prescott, who was out for an injury. So, I mean, full circle, man. You never know where you're going to end up at in the NFL.
I was so happy they won this game. I was like just dying, like watching this game. I was like, we have a chance to win this without literally our best player on the team being out of the game. I was happy the way they played. The defense played awesome, super good. Because the Vikings do this weird thing where they just, no matter who they play, whether it's a bad team or it's a good team, it's always close. Like no matter what, they don't blow anyone out. They don't lose by a whole lot. They just play a close game. That's all they do. So I knew it was going to be close. Feels good. I'm glad the defense played so well because that's what I was worried about was that our offense would just be completely anemic and then we wouldn't be able to score at all. So then no matter how good your defense plays, at some point, if they're just keep being thrown back out in the field, right, they're going to start playing bad because they're going to start giving up points at some point. But they didn't. Played really well. Cooper Rush made some really good throws. I was very surprised how well he played. First half was kind of meh, minus a couple throws. And he did score a touchdown, but in the second half, he threw a deep bomb touchdown to Cedric Wilson, which was awesome. He also threw the game winner to Amari Cooper, who just balled out the last drive. Straight up, Amari Cooper balled out, and Ezekiel Elliott, Jake made the comment when we watched the game, just straight up goes, I can run through those two guys. Just did it. It's like he wasn't going to get the first down. There was two guys in front.
Yeah.
He's like, I can split them.
Was it a fourth down? It was the fourth.
It was a third down and it was third and 8 or 9. It wasn't fourth down.
Right.
But they would have had to kick a field goal to tie the game.
But he caught it with 8 yards till the first down, and there's two guys standing in his way, and you could just see the thought process in his mind. He's like, "Yep, I'm going through him."
Yeah,
and he just rams through both of them for the first down, and pretty much, probably a big play and then winning that game right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was.
Who was
awesome.
Did the Cowboys have a wide receiver number 1?
Yeah, that was Cedric Wilson. He threw a long touchdown. He
Yeah.
also threw a dope pass too.
So yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. Cedric Wilson.
He was a high school and he recruited as a college quarterback for some teams.
Okay, so that explains it because I was watching this highlight and the play it developed to the left and then they kind of switched it back to the right. And he's on the run as a wide receiver with gloves on, and he throws the ball 25 yards down the field.
It was a 35-yard pass.
35-yard
pass, and it was
right
it was
on
a
the
dart,
money, dude.
Perfect spiral, line drive, like a bullet. It wasn't like he lobbed it. It was an awesome throw, and he was running full sprint, with the holding the ball, prime time style, right? Running just threw a dart. I was like, holy shit, that was a dope throw.
Did you see that?
I did not see it.
Dude, it was pretty dope. I was impressed by it. Well, now knowing that he was a quarterback, now that makes sense. But I was like, man, this dude's playing wide receiver in the NFL. Get him on a team somewhere playing quarterback. Yeah. But Griff, I can't talk about the Cowboys without giving you a little shit. So they're 6-1, but you got to admit they've played a cupcake schedule so far.
They played some bad teams, but
the only loss was to the Buccaneers, which they did play them pretty closely.
Super close.
I will agree with that. But come on,
they beat the
Super Bowl talks already.
They beat the Patriots and the Chargers, who've been pretty decent this year. The Chargers not as good the last 2 weeks, but then vice versa, the Patriots really good the last 2 weeks.
You also got to admit that they only need to win 9 games to win this division.
That's true. And going back to the Chargers,
they're already well overachieving what they need to do.
I'm on record saying that the Raiders are already winning that division.
I think they might too. I think you might be right with that. Seriously.
So,
but they haven't.
But both of those teams are 500 teams.
They still have played really well this year. Literally, they played well.
I'm not saying that. They have played well. But let's just, wait till they play the Cardinals and the Raiders and the Saints.
I mean,
before we start saying Super Bowl team.
I think it'd be different if it was similar how the Denver Broncos started 3-0 or the Panthers started 3-0, where they played 3 terrible teams and one really close.
Yeah.
Right? Played 3 0-3 teams and one really close.
So you're agreeing with first take?
It's not like the Cowboys were going out there playing only 0-3 teams and winning by 5 or 7 points. They're going out there destroying the Giants and destroying the Eagles. They're obliterating them. They're just completely handling them, right? The only teams that they didn't handle were the Buccaneers, right? The Chargers and the Patriots, which are better teams. So I think they're able to hold up with these teams that are actually even better. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't think the Patriots are going to win their division or anything, or I don't think the Chargers win their division either, but I think they're good enough, right?
Are you calling Super Bowl?
The Cowboys?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, Jesus.
We just talked about overreactions, right? The Cowboys have played awesome. They played really well.
I'm not doubting that.
I don't think you can hate on them for destroying inferior teams.
If the
what's wrong with that?
Play the Ravens every week, I mean,
the Vikings is a good win
lost
with
to the
Cooper
fucking
Rush.
Jets.
Fuck you.
They lost to Mike White.
It was a fluke of a game.
The
Mike
best
White
team
came
in the
out.
AFC lost to the Jets.
He had nothing to lose on that game. Mike White said, "Fuck it, I hate losing to rich white kids," and he was balling. That was his mindset. Don't you dare come at me with that kind of slander.
It's just you guys got too cocky. That's what it is. Bengals fans, you should.
We didn't get cocky.
Yes, you did.
We did not.
100% you did. You know how many times
did I come out and say that they were winning the Super Bowl?
You said they were the number 1 team in the AFC. Remember how Jake saying how many times he said we were the number 1 team in the AFC? I don't care that you only have 1 loss. We have 2 losses, but we're the number 1 team in the AFC.
Hey. Week 7, we were, buddy.
Yeah, right. Not anymore. You lost to Mike White and the Jets.
Week 8,
guess what?
That was a different mindset.
6-1 Dallas Cowboys.
That was a different mindset.
6-1 Dallas Cowboys are here to stay. We had Cooper Rush hang his nuts on the whole city of Minneapolis with a game-winning drive. That is what it's all about.
Mike White had nothing to lose. Burrow's out there playing for another contract. That's all I'm saying. If Mike White went out there and threw up 50 passing yards, you think anybody's going to give a shit? No, because it's Mike White and the
Bengals
New York
defense was so bad, they gave up 400 yards to Mike White. 400 yards to Mike White.
You're out here saying that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl.
Put some respect. The 6-1 Dallas Cowboys, Zach. The 6-1 Dallas Cowboys are here, and Cooper Rush is balling. And he might start next week, as Dak might still be hurt, which kind of scares me.
Maybe the Jets are just underrated. Maybe they just played really good teams.
No, they played a lot of bad teams.
All right, well, fuck you, Griff.
They have beaten 2 good teams, though. I will say that. They beat the Titans.
The Titans and the Bengals. But going to the Vikings.
That sounded like first take right there. That sounded like Mike Irvin versus Stephen.
Dude, that's what I was like kind of hoping for when I put cupcake in all caps. But going to the Vikings, dude, is Mike Zimmerman, is it time to move on for the Minnesota Vikings?
He needs to be fired.
You just said that Cooper Rush hung its nuts on U.S. Bank Stadium, like literally from the Raptors.
Yep.
And you're saying now that Mike Zimmer, time to move on?
Yes, he is. There's so many fire Zimmer hashtags on the internet
Okay.
right now. Tons.
Okay.
They all want him gone.
I will also say that you're acting like Mike White went out there and just was heaving up long balls. My man threw for 82% completion rate.
82%.
82% completion
Dak Prescott ever done that?
Balled out. Yeah, he
Probably has. Yeah.
He's like leading the league in completion percentage this year.
That was good. I like that.
Anyways, Dallas is legit.
Yeah, Dallas.
That's a good win against Vikings. Vikings are actually a pretty good team. They've lost pretty much all their games. They just lose heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah.
It's just what they do. So, but they're competitive. I mean, think about the Bengals game. They had the Bengals beat. Really, they fumbled.
Yeah.
Right? And then the Bengals kicked the field goal to win it.
Barely beat the Lions because I think that they got like a walk-off field goal or some shit like that. So maybe the Vikings are not as good as we think they are.
I think the Vikings are good.
I mean,
They'll play with you.
I mean, what is wrong with the Vikings? Is it their defense?
It's got to be coaching, right?
I mean,
if you lose all the close games, then coaches lose close games.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
They have 2 stud receivers, a decent running back. Kirk Cousins can win you games.
Decent. They have a dope running back.
Yeah,
like top 3 in the league.
he's all right.
Dalvin Cook's awesome. He's super good.
I respect him, but trade him
literally
away.
That's a good win to come with a backup
definitely
quarterback.
a good win.
Yeah. That's a good win.
That's awesome. I was so happy.
Yeah, pumped for
Just
Dallas.
another
But
more proof of how great of a play caller Kellen Moore is. Like he needs to be the head coach next year.
Well, so
and Dallas isn't going to do it.
I will give Kellen Moore props because I made this analogy that you walk into any type of college class and the professor is like, "Yep, I'm a tenured professor, never done any type of real work in my life." You're probably going to have a terrible class. If you walk into a safety class and he's like, "Yep, I was a safety manager for 25 years," you're like, "All right, I respect this guy. He knows what he's talking about." So to bring it back to Kellen Moore, he was quarterback. He understands how to make a playbook. He understands what Dak Prescott's looking at. He understands what a good quarterback needs to develop into a better quarterback. So I hope that Kellen Moore gets a starting or a head coaching job somewhere.
I hope he will be head coach after the season. I just hope it's the Dallas Cowboys. And
I was going to say Jerry Jones.
So one thing I want to say, when they hired Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore was their offensive coordinator before, and Dak had his best year ever, right? And Jason Garrett's last season. Mike McCarthy comes in, right? And Mike McCarthy guts the staff and has his own coaching staff. The only person that stayed in the staff was Kellen Moore. And everyone theorizes that it wasn't Mike McCarthy wasn't, I'm just going to keep this one guy from the staff. That Jerry Jones, when he hired him, said, "You have to keep this guy on your staff. That's the only way we'll hire you." So he was forced to keep Kellen Moore, which has a lot of people thinking he's head coach in waiting. If the reason Jerry Jones forced him, Mike McCarthy, keep this guy on the staff is that he's going to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and once Mike McCarthy's done. I think their thoughts then were that Mike McCarthy would coach 3 to 4 years, then Kellen Moore would take over. But now he's doing so well, a bunch of teams that want head coaches are going to try and get him this offseason. So the Cowboys have to make a shot, make a choice, right? Do we want to keep Mr. Watermelon Smasher, or do we want to hire the young gun and go like the wave of the NFL, which is going young ex-QB coaches and quarterbacks and just hire him as head coach? So we'll see.
Even if Jerry Jones doesn't want to proceed or doesn't proceed with Kellen Moore, that's still good for Jerry Jones's, I guess, what's the word I want to look for? Like
scouting.
Not scouting, but like letting Kellen Moore develop into a better coach to be like, "Hey, man, like you're young in this league. Like we're going to keep you around. You're going to prove that you've done something with a good quarterback in Dak Prescott. Like go get your bread somewhere and become a head coach." Obviously, I would love for it to be at the Cowboys, but if you got fucking Mike McCarthy that doesn't know how to manage a game clock,
the only thing,
might be good.
The thing I can say that's going to hurt the Cowboys is they have a very good shot to lose like maybe 4 or less games this year right now. Like they're 6-1. They're 6-1. So they're on track to have a really good season. Say they go freaking 13-4 or whatever their freaking records are now, right? They go 13-4 and we'll say just win one playoff game and then lose in the whatever second round or something like that. You can't even justify firing Mike McCarthy for Kellen Moore then, right? You know what I mean? Like he technically as the head coach, he went 13-4 and let him do a playoff win, right? In his second season. Like how many times has a coach in their second season gone 13-3, 13-4, won a playoff game and then gotten fired? You know what I mean? Like probably never, I'd imagine.
Well, I mean, you
that's
could
a little-
look at it like if Kellen Moore is doing most of the game planning for the offense, like Jerry Jones is going to know that.
I agree, but I don't think they would fire a head coach in his second season winning a playoff game going like 13-4. And again, first off, they got to go 13-4. They got to win a playoff game for all this stuff to happen. But anyway, something interesting. We talked about the Cowboys enough because they're awesome. The 6-1 Dallas Cowboys are awesome. Titans Colts, my pick. Titans covered, baby. In overtime, they got the dub at the end. And Carson Wentz, as always, if you listen to Death Taxes Bets, I said it. I don't trust the guy. I think he sucks. He played really well the last 2 weeks. He played really well in this game. And in the fourth quarter, like always, forgot how to play football. That's what he did.
He literally forgot what hand he threw with. He's a right-handed quarterback, and he's over here throwing left-handed passes.
Dude, he is. I said
Did
it
you
on.
see this?
I said it on Death, Taxes, and Bets. So go ahead and listen this week, and we'll recap it with Ortiz. But I said the reason I'm betting against Carson Wentz is because he's the ultimate quarterback. No matter what happens, thinks he can get out of every single sack. Right? We talked about before about Russell Wilson takes too many sacks. Carson Wentz is the most sacked quarterback in the past however many years because of that reason, because he literally refuses to throw the ball away and just thinks, I can get out of this. And there's like falling down, knee almost on the ground, completely parallel, throwing it sidearm into an interception. And he did that like twice.
Well, that's why he's known as Timmy Two Sprains.
Dude, literally like refuses to throw the ball away. He threw 2 horrible picks in the fourth quarter and overtime, and they lost this game because of it. And I was so happy.
But sticking on Wentz, I saw that he holds the Colts record with most passing attempts with 211 without an interception before that pick six in only 8 games.
That's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy. Knowing that Peyton Manning played there, Andrew Luck played there. Don't know who was before Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning has the record for most picks as a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, he does.
It's like 30
He does.
or 28 or something.
If I was the Colts, I would have traded him after the first year. He's washed.
I think back in the day, they just didn't care about
They
the
probably
interception.
didn't give a fuck.
No, that's like the ultimate
Like
stat.
Brett Favre was
that
like
everyone
the
uses.
man of the NFL, and my dude
Yeah.
just threw like bombs all night.
Yeah,
That's
you're
why
right.
he
Well,
wears,
either my guy catches it or their guy catches it.
that's why he wears Copperfit
He
now.
was the
It's either a punt or a good completion.
he was the quintessential fuck it, someone's down there. But that's also the Peyton Manning stat is like the go-to for everyone who has a rookie quarterback. It's like if the rookie quarterback has a bad year and throws like 18, 19 picks and has a bad season, they're like,
Yeah.
well, Peyton Manning threw 28 picks his rookie year. Like everybody says that if you're a rookie, if you have a bad year as a rookie quarterback.
Not everybody's Peyton Manning.
I know, but I'm just letting you know that's what everybody says.
Right.
Like, yeah, well, I know he had this many picks, but Peyton Manning had 28, so.
But going back to some breaking news, Derrick Henry, well, when I wrote this, he was likely out for the season with a foot injury, but now I'm seeing some more recent updates that he's out 6 to 10 weeks, I think, which is pretty much the end of the season. But he could come back for the playoffs.
This
I
is
mean,
no good for the Titans.
the AFC South
good.
is
You know my takes
trash.
on running backs. It's always been the same.
You
is
pay
that
'em.
they're replaceable.
You pay him.
But Derrick Henry, I don't think's replaceable.
No.
I
What did I
really
say
don't
last
think he
week?
is.
Left tackle with cornerback speed and Patrick Mahomes' arm. I mean, you pay that guy.
I don't think he's replaceable.
The crazy thing is, he hurt himself in that game and then
Kept playing.
went back in, ran the ball 25 more times with this fucked up foot.
Holy shit.
He definitely made it worse, right? 25 more times. He
What's
definitely.
the
made it
actual
worse.
injury? Do we know?
He broke something in his foot and had to have surgery. That's all I know.
Did he have surgery?
Yes, I think he had surgery.
Did he?
Yeah.
Damn. That'd
Yeah.
be scary.
Yeah.
Walking into that guy, laying on your gurney. I gotta operate on that guy.
It should be easier. It's
He's
like
huge.
bigger. It's like easy mode.
Yeah.
But if you fuck up, huge
Operation Easy Mode.
right? Like a small, tiny, petite girl would be like hard mode, right? I'm thinking of like, Operation the Game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Like
Right.
Operation Easy Mode.
Huge. If it's really big, you'd be able to pull the bone out real easy.
Yeah.
Like a small
Dude,
little operation.
What would
game.
you do if you walked into an operating room and the fucking surgeon was just sitting there playing Operation? Like beforehand, like fucking hits the buzzer. He's like, fuck, buzzer. Like,
You wouldn't feel good.
Is this the guy that's going to cut me open?
Real quick, I gotta tell you guys, some guy posted a picture of him playing Madden 22. It said had to let out some frustration. Bengals 126, Jets 20, 675 passing yards, 596 rushing yards for the Bengals.
Yeah. But going back to the Titans, I think that it kind of sucks for them because 2 of their 3 players are now out. I don't know how long Julio Jones is out, but I mean, he's missed like 2 or 3 games already this season. Definitely not the team that we talked about in the preseason with
Injured.
Jones, Henry, and Brown. But, I mean, Brown's still good. Tannehill, all right quarterback. So
I like how every time you type Titans, it turned to the Titians.
did it really?
Yeah, like every time you say Titans, it just immediately autocorrects Titians, the Titians.
The Titians. I don't know, man. All right. Nobody else sees this shit but the three of us.
The Titians. But yeah, Carson Wentz lost that game for him, straight up.
Yeah, he did. But anything else about this matchup?
No. Let's go to another exciting game, which I also picked correctly on Death Taxes Bets. The Niners covered -3.5 on the Bears. Right. I was all over this. I was happy it happened. And there were some wild plays in this game, like from both teams. There were some crazy long-ass plays. The freaking Deebo Samuel, who's been like one of the best receivers in the league this year, just took like a tunnel screen like 80 yards. And it was funny because I follow a lot of Bears fans on the internet because, one, they're funny on Twitter.
I'm sorry.
And two, I like to watch them complain about their team all the time because I think it's funny. But all the Bears fans were so hyped up because Justin Fields had just done a really awesome touchdown pass. And then they immediately next play go up an 80-yard tunnel screen. They're like, God damn it. It's like the one time he actually like progresses and plays better, our defense can't stop shit. It was hilarious the entire game. So,
all right, so we might go first take on this. I don't know. But so just want to start off with, I've never had a problem with the Chicago Bears until now.
Now Bears.
With fucking Andy Dalton. But you guys have already read this, but I'm going on script. Announcers say some dumbass things, man. And I've been caught on the Gridiron Garage saying some dumb things like, hey, make your goat of all goat list. Derek Jeter, #1. Fucking reprimanded for it. But I heard that Justin Fields, dude, he goes out and loses a fucking football game. Loses it. 175 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And now they're saying it's time to trade Andy Dalton because Justin Fields is better than fucking Andy Dalton. Has 1 game passing over 200 yards. 1 game. And they're saying it's time to trade away Andy Dalton. He rushed for 103 yards. Whatever. I think that's pretty easy to do as a quarterback with undesigned runs. But
I don't know, but I don't agree with that part, but I kind of agree with the other part as far as him still not being better than Andy Dalton.
We're going to trade Andy. Dude, Andy Dalton's getting disrespected up there, and that's time to put some fucking respect on Andy Dalton's name.
Since I know you want my take on it, Zach, and you always like my take, what I'll say is I think they probably should trade Andy. And not for the fact that I think he's not as good as Justin Fields right now, because just based off, I'll admit this, Andy would play better. When he did play, he played better than I thought he did, or he was going to, before the season. But if you can trade him and even get some sort of draft pick out of him, he's no way he's going to be there like the next 2 years, right?
No. He's only got a 1-year contract.
They're going to crush him for this 1 year, so why as well trade him? Why not?
Get him out of there.
If at this point it seems like they're in on Justin Fields, hey, we want to give this guy a shot, then there's no point in keeping Andy Dalton on your team. Like, you're just going to play him the rest of the season, maybe win 7 games max. That's like a max for the Bears. I don't think they're that good of a team.
The only problem is who wants him. He's on the team that has the worst quarterback.
The Colts?
I mean, the Jets
I don't know
are
if the Colts
balling now.
But,
dude, Mike White literally is the face of the New York Jets.
Washington football team, right? They definitely need. Then you can use a quarterback.
I agree. The Colts. That's not a bad.
Carolina Panthers.
That's not bad.
I don't know.
Your problem is every quarterback you're listing is done better than Justin Fields.
Yeah.
If Andy can't start over Justin Fields, how's he going to start over any of these other?
Taylor Heineke has not done better than Justin Fields. He's been terrible too. Did you see Heineke yesterday?
He still has better stats if you want to go off that.
Dude, Heineke has lost them so many games. And Justin Fields has not played great, but Heineke has lost them games. I think Andy Dalton would be better than Taylor Heineke for sure.
I agree.
I already said I think Andy Dalton would probably be a better quarterback than Justin Fields in this team right now. I just think for them it's the future thing saying, oh, let's just get him his reps now. That's the reason they trade him.
Fuck the future.
Taylor Heineke. Let's talk about Taylor Heineke.
In win now,
Taylor Heineke had to throw a Hail Mary to win the game, a 30-yard Hail Mary. So it's not even really a Hail Mary.
That's just like a flick of the wrist.
Well, it was a hurry up because he took a sack with no timeouts left, with barely any time. They rushed the line, hiked it, and he immediately got rushed. So he scrambled around the backfield and went to throw a Hail Mary up to end the game and threw it 20 yards out of the back of the end zone on the last play of the game. 20 yards up through the fucking uprights. Jesus. That was his Hail Mary attempt. And that guy,
I mean, when you're in Hail Mary mode and you're only 30 yards out.
Anyway, that's besides the point.
But
I think they should just trade him because it gets something out of him because they're not going to use him the rest of this year. There's no point keeping him on the team.
But think about it. He could literally go to I'm going to throw out the Colts because I don't think Carson Wentz is very good. And I'm on record saying he's not very good in the past, even before the show.
I think Carson Wentz is probably better than Andy Dalton right now.
I think Carson Wentz is way too hyped up. I'm not on the hype train with him. I think that the Washington football team, I don't see
the
Carolina
Panthers.
because they just traded for Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold hasn't been that good.
I know he hasn't been very good, but I mean, they just traded for
He
him.
also got
so-
hurt last game, so
Okay. I could see Miami, but I could
think-
definitely see Andy Dalton saying, fuck Miami because I have red hair and it's really hot down there.
Yeah.
And I agree with him. That's a bad place to be.
Houston Texans need a quarterback.
Houston, I mean, he could go back home to the Houston
Yeah.
Texans. I mean, there are plenty of options to get him out of Chicago. I don't know how Andy Dalton hasn't gone to his agent and was like, dude, fuck Mac Nagy and screw this little
I think
dweeb
they
Justin
definitely need
Fields.
to trade him. Also, by the way, the 103 yards is impressive. That is a dumb take. Like, it's very hard to look at how often it doesn't happen.
Look how often Lamar Jackson does it by just not having anybody downfield
Lamar
and just
Jackson's
taking
Lamar
off running.
Jackson, though, he's a freak.
I mean, I've said before, Justin Fields is a very athletic quarterback. I don't think he's a very smart quarterback, but
There's few one of a kind quarterbacks.
if you
that
don't
can-
have
that can
anybody
run for that
open,
much.
if your linebackers are dropping back or they've blitzed and they're already past you, and you take off on a 10-yard run over the course of the game, that adds up. The Bears obviously do that a lot because their receivers are not very good.
Yeah, but that's just
and
the
their
positive of
offensive
having
line.
him on your team. If that he can do that, there's not many quarterbacks that can.
But he
do
doesn't
something
turn
like
it into
that.
anything. That's what I'm saying. For an undesigned run, I don't think that 103 yards is a lot. I mean, yeah, it is a lot for a running back.
That's
but
100% a lot for a quarterback.
for like a Lamar Jackson kind of guy, I don't really see
He's
that.
not a Lamar Jackson kind of guy. Lamar Jackson is one of a
he
kind.
is literally. I'm
Jackson
not
is
getting
one of
this
a kind.
argument. He literally is Lamar Jackson. He was compared to Lamar Jackson coming out of college, and he literally is doing
There
what
are
Lamar
two players-
Jackson's doing.
there are two players
He is
that are
running
Lamar
around
Jackson.
like Lamar Jackson.
Michael Vick-
and he can't throw
Zach,
like
you are
Lamar
dumb.
Jackson.
You are dumb. Lamar
Jesus
Jackson
Christ.
and Michael Vick are the only
No.
two players ever like
No.
that in NFL history.
No.
Justin
Fields is a
even you
better
saying-
scrambler than he is a thrower.
Even you saying that
just
he
like
is,
Lamar
he
Jackson.
is similar
And
to
what
Lamar
is he doing?
Jackson
He's doing the same
is
exact shit
asinine.
Lamar Jackson is, getting
You
100-plus
saying
rushing yards
that
by undesigned
he
QB
is-
runs because nobody's open downfield.
Okay, this
He's
is-
literally doing the same
I've lost
exact
brain
thing.
cells from Zach Curtis right now because he just said
How?
that
That makes
Justin
perfect
Fields
sense.
is just like Lamar Jackson.
Because he is. How
You just
can
said
you?
he sucked.
He does suck.
So he's not Lamar Jackson.
I'm saying that his athletic ability is like Lamar Jackson.
it's not.
Lamar Jackson is a way better quarterback
Lamar
than
Jackson's one
Justin
of a
Fields. But I'm
We
saying
really are turning into first take.
that if you have undesigned quarterback runs where you have nobody open downfield, if your receivers are already 25 fucking plus yards downfield, all your defensive guys and your offensive linemen are already behind you, you have at least 10 to 15 yards of open running room that you have before a safety comes down and gets you. That is all I'm saying. That is not a lot for undesigned runs.
You are a dumbass. There we go. Conversation's over.
Jake,
Let's move on.
fuck this guy. What are we, get in here. You
let's
haven't
move
said
on.
anything.
Yeah,
It is not
I
easy
don't
to run
think
for
he's
100
like-
yards as a quarterback.
I don't think he's like Lamar Jackson
at all.
But yeah, it is kind of easy for quarterbacks that athletic to run the ball.
Boom!
Because,
Roasted.
To run for 103 yards,
I mean, obviously his athleticism helped him a lot.
I can understand.
But-
Give me some.
I can understand what you're saying that they have more space to run because
Nah,
the guys are
2
dropping
versus
back.
1.
But
Moving
they
on.
are not running for 100 yards every game because it's not easy. There's very few guys that can do that. That's Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick could do that.
But if you put like a running back there, he could do it all the time.
But he would be terrible throwing the ball. Well, I guess he's been terrible throwing the ball too. But thinking about that. But if that was the case, they literally wouldn't play pass defense.
Like
at
I'm
all.
convinced you could probably put OBJ back there, and he'd probably be similar to Justin Fields.
Probably.
I don't know. I think it'd be
Maybe
different. I
even
think they
more
just stack the
athletic.
box the whole time.
He'd be more athletic.
I think they just stack the box the whole time.
OBJ can throw football. Get the fuck out of here.
You can throw it better than Justin Fields?
He can throw a football.
I don't think he
Probably
can.
not better than Justin
I think
Fields,
all the
but
time.
still.
I think the time you've seen him throwing the ball has been on trick plays, and when the defense is not ready for a trick play.
That's pretty good.
What do you mean?
Every tries a trick play if OBJ is your quarterback.
Yeah, I guess you're right on that. I don't know.
Do you have Justin Fields stats pulled up? I saw you looking at
Dude,
something.
they're bad. They're not good. I've agreed.
Oh no,
I've already
his
said that.
stats are bad. Heineke's stats are definitely way better. You fucking were wrong.
Heineke sucks.
Also,
He's lost so many games for that team.
I'm not sure. It's hard to compare to rushing stats from him and Lamar because I couldn't get rushing yards per game, but rushing yards per attempt is pretty similar to Lamar Jackson.
The rushing attempts per game.
I just don't think he looks anything
He
like
had
Lamar when he plays
10
football.
rushing attempts. If you average 10 yards a scramble,
He had one for 40 yards
That-
too.
oh.
So what? That was an awesome play.
It
man.
was a cool play.
That was an awesome play, man.
all right,
Good
Griff.
play.
Now you sound
Look,
done.
look.
I'm losing brain cells talking to you.
Literally,
He had a 40-yard
you
breakout
act
play.
like you act like this guy can run for 100 yards every game, and it's like
He's
it's
definitely
light work.
athletic enough to do it like Lamar Jackson is.
Nowhere near as Lamar Jackson. He's not.
He also
Lamar
hasn't
Jackson.
rushed for 100 yards a game.
ever. This is the first time he's ever done it.
It's
He's
not like
only
doing it
played
all
for
the time.
5 games. Lamar Jackson's played for 3
Also,
years.
he's been off. He's been god awful at quarterback. But
So
this
bad.
game was actually somewhat good.
Yeah.
I mean, he had total 280 yards, 2 total touchdowns, and an interception. That's an okay game.
Yeah. I think
I mean, a
Zach is
rushing yard
severely
counts the
overrating
same as a
how
passing
hard
yard.
it is to run for 100 yards as a quarterback. It's not easy. It is not an easy
If you're
thing.
fast and
If
athletic.
if he ends up doing this consistently, I'll go back and say, hey, Zach, you were right. This
what
guy's
happened
like
with
Lamar
Jalen
Jackson.
Hurts? That dude runs everywhere.
Dude,
His team's to ass.
he does not run for 100 yards every game.
What did he run for last week? Look it up.
If he ran for 100 yards, it was probably the first time he did it all season.
Jalen Hurts does run for a lot of yards.
That's why you wanted to trade for him in fucking fantasies
Yeah, I know.
because you said that he runs a
He
lot.
runs a lot, and I could see a lot of fantasy points when we're in non-PPR.
All right, we're going to look this up right now. Hold, please.
All right, what are we looking
I'm
at?
trying to
Hurts
look
is
it up, too.
second in rushing yards at 432. Lamar Jackson is first at 480.
Oh, wow. He's a lot more than I
Also,
thought.
Hurts has
I'll
5
say I was
rushing
wrong on that.
TDs, and Lamar Jackson has 2 rushing TDs.
My point
Hurts had
exactly.
Hurts had way more yards than I thought, so I'll kind of eat some crow on that one. I didn't know he had that many rushing yards.
Yeah, Hurts
That's
runs
all
a
he
lot.
does is fucking run around because his team sucks.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is weird. Oh, never mind. That's complete. Okay. I thought it just said he had more rushing yards than passing yards. I was like, what the fuck? And I just misread it.
No, he has
432.
1,800
Wow, that's
passing
a lot.
yards. 432 rushing.
Would that be wild to be a 1,000-yard rusher for a quarterback on a team, like a starting quarterback?
Yeah, Lamar Jackson and Mike Vick and probably Cam Newton probably the only ones that have done that, right?
Yeah. Damn.
Maybe Randall Cunningham back in the day. I don't know.
All right, moving on. We already know that Justin Fields is not going to be in the NFL very long. We all agree on that.
You are rooting for him to do bad. It blows my mind how much you hate this guy.
I have nothing against the guy.
Yes, you do. You root for him to do bad.
I don't like the way that they treat Andy
You
Dalton.
have got to admit that you're rooting for him to do bad because you literally are.
All right, I will say, I am not rooting for him to get injured. I am rooting for him to do bad.
It's so weird.
Okay, because
Weird.
I don't think he's a very good quarterback, but that's just me. I've never played a snap in the NFL, so he's definitely made it farther than I have.
I think he can be a good quarterback, and I've said it before. I think he's had a very bad start to his career. This is a move in the right direction for him. I was happy he actually had a good game.
I would confer that this is a decent game.
Yeah,
That
I
he
was
had
happy.
the past week.
Well, for him, it was a good game.
For him, it was compared
Yeah.
to his previous starts, a great
So I'm
game.
happy for his sake. He had a good game. Good job, Bears. He's your future.
There it is. All right, moving on. The Saints' future tore their ACL last week, out for the year. Don't know who their backup is. Didn't really know who he was, to be honest with you. But don't know why they didn't put Taysom Hill in.
Trevor Simeon.
Yeah,
was a backup.
Don't know who that is.
Taysom Hill's hurt.
Is he?
Yeah.
What did he do?
He got hurt.
I bet
Eat
Taysom
too many
Hill
crab
could
legs.
easily run for 100 yards a game.
Oh, no doubt.
Taysom Hill's like
Dude,
the
he is the
weirdest
devil.
quarterback I've ever seen.
He would put his head in any fucking hole.
I guarantee
he will do that.
he could throw for 100, run for 100 every single game for the rest of the season if you started him.
It's interesting.
I would 100% take that bet on you because it would not happen.
Well, they wouldn't try if they were trying to do it.
It would
could.
not happen.
It wouldn't happen. Just
He would
naturally.
definitely
It
have a-
wouldn't naturally occur.
I'm saying if they legitimately said like, "Hey, we're going to play the rest of the season. Our goal is to get 100, there'd be at least one game where he would run for like 50
Maybe.
yards. Where they got stuffed. They just had a terrible.
But majority of the games, he'd do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm on Zach's side right
think,
there.
I think you guys are overrating, like you're underrating or whatever it would be. I think you guys just make it seem like it's really easy to run for 100 yards, and I don't think it is.
I don't know. They do in college.
What
all
I'm
the time.
trying to compare it to is that you have a running back where a running back is lined up in maybe not an obvious run situation, but a defense is going to be able to be like, all right, there's a whatever. Let's just say 65% chance that this play is going to be a run. So they're going to be able to stop that run way easier than when a quarterback has an undesigned run. You have 3-4 wide. They're all 20 yards downfield. The play doesn't develop. The pocket collapse. Now that quarterback has nobody in the middle, so he takes off running. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that
can
it's
agree
going to
with
be
that.
easier
When
for a
those
quarterback to accumulate 100-plus rushing yards
I
versus
agreed with that.
running back.
When it happened, that specific thing happens when the pocket collapses and they have guys running deep routes.
And majority
downfield.
of the time, that's where it happens.
Not majority of the time. but
Majority of the time.
No. So when it does happen, when that specific thing happens, when they're all running deep routes and the pocket collapses and he runs out, they get big 20-yard runs all the time. I agree with that stuff. But I don't think that happens as often as you think it does. You think it's like every single play just throwing deep bombs in the pocket.
Well, think about
collapses.
Lamar Jackson. Let's just say the play is designed to run to the left so the defense bites to the left. He rolls out to the right. he has at least 5 to 10 yards to pick up.
I don't like to compare Lamar Jackson because he's his own breed. They literally schedule like 16 designed runs for him. Not to mention the ones that he just scrambles.
See, now I'm on Griffin's side.
Because
Lamar Jackson is not Justin Fields.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson.
No, I'm not trying
so athletically superior.
The difference between is that almost most, if not all, of his runs, Justin Fields were scrambles, like you're talking about, where he was like running out and he got a lot of opportunities where he could run with an open field, and he did that. He did really well at that. But with Lamar Jackson, he'll run for 100 yards, and 16 of those will be like designed like read options or the little F lead options they'll do, and he not fewly, but only some of his runs will be those like scramble ones. So they have different play styles is what I'm saying. They hardly ever design run for Justin Fields. They might do it a couple times a game.
Because he's so bad, he doesn't know how to pick up a pass. So he's like, fuck it, I'll just run with the ball.
I think
anyways,
we've
moving
beat
on
this too far.
Yeah,
so.
we have. Tom Brady goofed. I think that him and I need to sit down and watch some film. We need to watch out for that high safety crashing down. Pick 6 to end the game. Sad, but Saints and the Bucks meet up again. I think that the Bucks win it because I don't know if you guys saw that stat that I put in there, but Tom Brady has only lost to one team 2 times in the same season, and that was the 2020 Saints. Isn't that pretty crazy?
Wow.
So, I don't think that the Saints bite him in the ass again 2 times in 1 year. I think he's learned from his mistakes.
Guess we'll find out.
We have, yeah. So I don't know. Tom Brady on the road to winning 10 Super Bowls. Only has 3 more to go. Probably 2 more after this year. So, and then moving on to Thursday night football. So, Griff.
The all-time fuck you Griffin game. Because I should have just said Packers frauds. And then the Packers don't beat the Cardinals. So I was wrong on that, right? The Packers played an awesome game. So
you also were wrong about J.J. Watt, man. With J.J. Watt, Cardinals 7-0. Without him, 0-1. He was the face of that defense. And you say,
what was the season looking like? Seriously, I don't even know how to go to stats. I just like saying J.J. Watt's old because it makes you so mad.
He's my favorite player in the NFL. So yeah, I do have some animosity there. But I think that for at least the Cardinals, he was the only player, or he was leading the team in most pressures on quarterback on the defense.
Sounds like you can't finish the sack.
I mean, he's a team player. He opens up the door for other people.
Chandler Jones got 5 sacks in 1 game.
Cool. Myles Garrett had like 9.
Sounds like J.J. Watt just can't finish the deal, can't seal the deal. 10% like 20% skill, more like 100% bum.
Yeah. I hope J.J. Watt fucking Kool-Aid Mans through this fucking door right now.
I like I said, I like J.J. I like
Could all
J.J.
three
Watt.
of us take J.J. Watt?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Dude, he's literally fought NFL players as brothers.
Did I send you that video that one time? And it's like three like scrawny guys try to fight one MMA fighter. Yeah. He's like a heavyweight.
You call me scrawny?
No, I sent you a
Yeah,
video.
you're scrawny.
Yeah, I'm pretty scrawny. No, I didn't see that.
You ever seen that? Oh, that's so
Speaking
funny.
of MMA,
these 3
Who won?
Well,
go ahead.
Well, they did not obviously plan or have a strategy because they came at him one at a time, and the big guy just kept knocking him the fuck down, dude. They just kept running. He was like, wop, 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 and everyone would stand back and be like, oh shit, I'm next, I guess.
My turn. It's like an old kung fu movie.
You gotta
they
fucking
fight
jump
one
him
at a time.
once. No, you gotta jump him at once.
But it's like they were in an old kung fu
Like if your
movie.
buddy's getting punched, you gotta go from behind and just start wailing on the big guy.
I know. That's hilarious.
I'm gonna see if I can find. I don't know if the clip is up there, but did you see that? Speaking of MMA, in the UFC, I think it was Khabib, like the 2. I don't know if they were babies or what they were, but they were in suits.
Yes, it's Hasbulla. They're little people.
Oh, okay, well, sorry about that.
No, he has that disorder where he's like childish.
Yeah, they're like
They look like
Benjamin
children. Yeah.
And
I've
they're
seen
gonna fight.
this guy
They're gonna
before.
fight each other.
Yeah. Oh, they're actually gonna fight each other.
They're trying to
They've
build
been
a huge
trying-
pay-per-view fight.
They've been trying to build a huge
And
boxing match.
and
It's
it keeps
Hasbulla.
like,
awesome.
It keeps falling apart.
Dude, they're fucking pushing each other and shit. I love it.
They
you see it,
Can't
Jake?
get the funding. Yeah, they can't get the funding.
I'm
for it,
all
I
in
think.
on Hasbulla. I want Hasbulla to win.
It would be such an awful fight. You know, it would be. It'd be just like you think Rough and Rowdy's miserable boxing. This fight,
It would be like that one video we
This
used to
would be
watch.
like
The dude
you-
doing-
Look at that.
yes,
remember the backflip knockout, Jake?
this is definitely something you spent like $25 on, and you're like, I never get that $25 back.
Remember the video we watched when they're boxing, dude just running open,
Yes.
him,
Oh
and then
my
he
gosh.
finishes with the handstand kick.
All right. Well, I feel like an asshole calling them babies, but I mean, you win some and you lose some, I guess.
Hasbulla.
But that was funny when I saw that. Anyways, back to the Cardinals Packers game. So we're gonna credit coaching on this one. That Matt LaFleur LaFleur, however you say it.
Fleur.
7-0 without Devontae Adams. Do you think that that's just a useless stat, or do you think that Rodgers actually knows that he's missing his star receiver and that he needs to open up the playbook a little bit?
No doubt that Aaron Rodgers pays attention to so many stats that he just would love to have that for his ego trip. Like, my best receiver's out. I've never lost. 100%. He definitely knows that.
Yeah. I mean,
he definitely tries to win games harder. He tries to win every game, so he likes winning. So,
what do you think about that?
He also won his John Wick for Halloween.
I'm always a fan of getting rid of a super talented receiver is not going to make your team better.
What?
That's my take on it.
I agree with that.
Wait, getting rid of a super talented receiver
not going to make your team
is not
better.
going to make your team
like
better.
if you're missing your best receiver, your team's not better. Team is worse. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, your team's going to be better with the better receiver.
I was lost. I was like, what? You're telling me if we took away Jamar Chase, we're just going to become better?
No,
I thought that's what you were saying. I was like, what the fuck?
Bengals would be a worse team without Jamar Chase.
What do you guys, realistically, what do you think the Packers Super Bowl odds are this year? Like to actually make a Super Bowl? And then, because that's what they got to do first. Because with them recently, they've been the kings of just choking the NFC Championship. They've like 3 of the last 4 or something crazy they've made and lost. So,
something like that, yeah.
I'm just curious. Aaron Rodgers, his Super Bowl was so long ago. Russell Wilson's getting in the Aaron Rodgers range where it's been so long it kind of almost doesn't count. Seriously.
Doesn't count.
It's been so long.
Don't you ever use Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers?
I know. They played the Steelers.
Was it like 2012?
2010 or
like
something.
early, or like 8. Or
Russell Wilson was 2012.
12, okay.
I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers was like 2010.
Yeah, it was pretty long ago. I think, and I put it in here,
count?
I think that Aaron Rodgers is so mad with the Packers, he's going to win the Super Bowl and say, fuck you, and ride off into the sunset.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
And probably go to a different team.
Yeah, also, why did he hate his team so bad? They're pretty good.
He doesn't hate his team. He hates the
front office.
Team's pretty good.
Goots or whatever the fuck his name is.
He also said today he loves his team, loves everyone on it, and loves everyone that's a part of it. That's what he said that. And after the game, they won.
Yeah,
he says a lot of things,
after he already restructured his contract to say fuck you next year to the Packers. So,
I don't know. We'll see.
I think the NFC has some pretty good teams in it. But with him beating the Cardinals, granted it was a close game, but when you come out with a meme the way that he came out with,
yeah,
you have to win the Super Bowl.
I agree.
That's the best fucking meme ever. Did you see it?
No.
You haven't seen this meme?
Oh, yeah, with the chin strap over his nose.
Yeah.
That is an awesome picture.
Dude, that fucking
awesome picture.
So, speaking of elite quarterbacks, because he's an elite quarterback, right? I got a list here of quarterbacks, and some of them are elite for the year 2021.
Good thing you remembered that. I forgot to put it in the notes.
We got a rolling list here. So, here's a top 10 list. This is week 8, pre-Monday Night Football.
Time out.
And
you know what's bullshit?
what?
If Dak Prescott's on that fucking list, we're in.
Oh, he's on the list. So,
If Mike
here we go.
White is not number 1.
Yeah, dude, Mike White better be on there.
Let me do the fucking list, all right?
Mike
Jesus
White.
Christ.
Mike
Number
White.
10. This guy is playing currently right now as we're recording it, but I have Patrick Mahomes at number 10. So Patrick Mahomes, 19 touchdowns to 8 picks, 9 picks. Can't remember. Sorry. He's thrown a lot of picks. So we'll see if he can start playing better. He's still Patrick Mahomes. I think he's still had a decent year. I think he's been slinging the ball a lot more because their defense is bad. Number 9, moving down a couple spots because he lost to Cooper Rush. Kirk Cousins did not have a great game. I think he moved down. I have 2 spots moving down from my list. So Kirk Cousins, got to get together, dude. I blame Mike Zimmer, but you also didn't play well. Number 8, even though he lost, even though he caught an L, and he lost to Mike White, he moved up a spot. Joe Burrow, number 8. Let's go!
Let's go, Joe!
Joe Burrow's had a good year. He has had a really good
Let's
year.
go, Joe. He's
And-
done a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, and he's up
touchdowns.
there top 4 in passer rating with 3 other guys who are also on the list. Not including Russell Wilson. I took him off the list because too many weeks missed. But he's number 1 in passer rating. So I took him off the list.
in the first place.
Number 7, kept him right where he was. Derek Carr. Derek Carr. He's had a good year. Right? I don't think there's anyone hating on Derek Carr this year. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Number 6, moving down 2 spots
Boo.
because he didn't play. Dak Prescott, number 6.
How can you have a guy who hasn't played
He's
on the
good,
list?
Zach.
He missed 1 game.
He's been good.
But there are 31 other teams
that have
quarterbacks.
worse stats than him when he's missed a game.
He's been good, Zach.
He's been really good.
He is really good.
Number 2 in passer rating behind another guy who's on this list,
I'm
which I'll get to
saying.
in a little bit.
He hasn't played.
I don't think
He
Griff,
missed 1 game, Zach.
I don't think Griff is
Hasn't played.
half as biased on this podcast as me and you are when it comes to the Bengals.
No.
I mean, all I'm saying,
If I was literally you, Zach, Dak Prescott would be number 1 or 2 every week. So, number 5, he moved up from number 9 because he balled out and he's having a great year again. Aaron Rodgers moved up 4 spots. Aaron Rodgers beat the best team in the league, you move up, right? Played awesome. Number 3, moved down 2 spots because a big loss. Still having a really good year, but down 2 spots. Tom Brady at number 3 on the list. Or sorry, down 1 spot. He was number 2. He's down 1 spot. Now number 2 on the list. Here's where it gets interesting. This guy's been number 1 a lot, but he moved down 1. It is Kyler Murray at number 2. Ooh. So for the first time this season, the number 1 spot, we have Mike White of the New York Jets.
Yeah. Fuck the Jets.
I'm just kidding. Number 1's Matt Stafford. It's number 1, Matt Stafford. I think he's definitely earned it after another game. They played an absolutely awful team, and they did what good teams should do to every absolutely awful team they play. They shit pumped them. So
hell yeah,
he did. He shit pumped them.
Anyways, to start out with, you said number 10 as
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. And if you look at his stats, he's actually been pretty good. He's just been bad for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's been bad for Patrick Mahomes, and he's thrown picks in some really bad spots. Those are the only 2 things I've heard.
If his name was Mike White and he had these stats,
oh my God, yeah,
people would be like, wow, dude, how incredible is Mike White right now? You know, it's like
I agree with that.
People hold such a high standard for him that even this slow start for him is kind of like hard to watch.
I think
he bounces back, and he's going to be...
There's a lot of recency bias in him because he's thrown 15 picks in the last 15 games. That's
going to throw him tonight?
I don't know. We'll see. So, anyway, so kind of last second before we move on, do we want to get into our picks for the week? Our who's winning picks?
Shit.
Yeah, I literally just looked at that.
I'll go last.
I forgot about it.
Like, I already have my pick. You want me to go first then?
Yeah, go for it.
I do this every week, and I'm still 4-3.
So, the only one that's prepared, and I'm in last place. So
I'm thinking too
I'm
much.
4-2. I've literally done this every single week where I just look at it.
So I think I have a pretty awesome pick. If this doesn't hit, I can't even type ESPN. My fingers are so fucking fat. There you go. All right, so I think I saw this line, and it just did not make any sense to me about why this line was so easy. It should be easy.
Time out. Huh? Are we allowed to pick the same teams?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I've said it before.
Cool.
We're going in blind. Because I feel like someone else probably picked this game too. Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me either.
So this line just made no fucking sense to me because if you're looking at this on paper, one team's had a terrible defense, the other team just beat the best team in the league. The Packers are plus 2.5.
Yeah,
plus they're underdogs to the Chiefs. The Packers are 7-1 and they're underdogs to the 3-4 Chiefs. And the only reason I can think of is because it's Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. That's the only thing I think of. So I'm going to take the Packers plus 2.5. Really hope this doesn't bite me because I do see this being a game the Chiefs could win, but this might be a rat line. So I really hope the rat line doesn't fuck me. But I'm going Packers plus 2.5.
Well, Griff, I agree with you. I'm going with Packers plus 2.5 too because when I just looked at this about 2 seconds ago, I saw negative 2.5.
Yeah.
I said Chiefs minus 2.5 over the Packers. Nah, we're going with Aaron Rodgers plus 2.5. Jake.
Bounce back game for Arizona Cardinals minus 2.5 over San Francisco.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I think it's a good pick. I think there's some other ones that could be good picks. I like Pats over Panthers.
Pats over Panthers is good. I actually kind of like the Chargers over the Eagles minus 2.5. I don't think the Eagles are that good. I think they've only beaten really bad teams.
Is Dak back?
Shit out of the line.
Dak's
must
borderline.
Be back.
He's 9.5. He's projected to play.
Is he?
But he might not play. They might keep a rush it again.
I'm definitely not risking it on that. All right, I'm sticking with my first one. Cardinals over 49ers. Bounce back game. Their offense is going to be lit. They're going to be throwing it out. San Francisco doesn't have the firepower, although has a good wide receiver. Still not the firepower to match Arizona. They're going to come out.
Fair enough.
Win this game by at least a field goal.
So we got week 9. The who's winning. We got Zach picking the Packers at plus 2.5. We got Jake picking the Cardinals at minus 2.5. And we got Griff picking the Packers at plus 2.5. So right now our standings are Zach is at 4-2, Jake is at 4-2, and Griff is at 3-3. So we got the 10,000.
I got the chance to steal games on both y'all motherfuckers. Let's go.
You do.
I got the chance to lose it against both you motherfuckers too.
Yeah, you do. 50-50.
But all right.
Well,
I've been lame if we all picked the same game.
I got that written down in our notes. Y'all should.
I like my game.
Hey, look, I kind of want to add a future caveat, all right? Okay. If we all pick the same game, then we are mandatory all to pick a second game, but they have to be different games. That'd be fun.
I don't like that.
If we
does it count to the record?
Yeah.
No.
If we just all randomly pick the same game?
I like it. Because then we're still guaranteed a win or a loss.
Yeah, I know, but I
that's
think
just too much to keep track of.
You guys are just lucky that I'm like a game time decision on this thing. Because I was like, I'm not picking that game.
I thought I had a lock last week picking the fucking Jets, but I know now. Never pick the Jets.
You gotta be like me. My locks I picked were 3-0 on DTB. Just saying, my 3-0 locks.
Yeah.
I lost only my money line, but I was 3-0 on my locks.
Don't think about it. Just bet it with Jake.
Don't think about it, just bet it with Jake.
It's gonna be the
Jake
new
is
one.
literally don't thinking about it, just betting it. So
Hell yeah.
I like it.
All right, boys, we got anything else to add to this wonderful episode of Gridiron Garage?
There's a lot of toxicity between me and Zach. Just so you guys know, if we ever argue, we still love each other.
Yep, we do. We do.
But he is a dumbass.
Yep. Touche. You got proven wrong, buddy. All right, Jay, get us out of here.
All right. Justin Fields equals Lamar Jackson. MVP season, probably, though. Not current Lamar Jackson. Like 2 years ago, MVP Lamar Jackson.
You take that out of context. That's just like that's like Griff saying, if you get hurt, you're a worse
Was it
player.
2019?
And then Dak gets hurt.
2019.
Dak gets hurt, and I say, hey, is he a worse player? And he's like, oh, you fucking take that away.
Justin
out of context.
Fields is 2019
Bullshit.
Lamar Jackson.
No.
Signing out here from Gridiron Garage. Thanks for listening. Make sure you listen to the Thursday episode and
Suck a
hit
wiener.
up Griff's Bet Show on Friday.
DTB on Friday, boys.